2, 1. We're live.
Okay, we're live. This is a special meeting of the Attica City Council, 12/23 of 24, Christmas Eve. Special meeting for new business, discussion and approval of year-end fund transfers. So I'll turn that over to Joanne,
Would you like me to take roll call?
if you'd like to.
Mayor Grant,
Present.
Mrs. DeLong,
Present.
Mr. Moss,
Present.
Mr. Voorhees,
Present.
Mrs. Carnahan,
Present.
attorney. All right,
I was just trying to keep my promise, keep things moving here.
I like
That's
it.
all it was, Joanne.
I like it. I'm good with that.
Miss DeLong's final meeting.
I
Yes, it
know,
is.
that's sad. Well,
I know.
for us,
We're gonna miss you.
maybe not for you. All right.
We'll have to make a trip up Lafayette to see you now.
That's
Hey, I already have.
Me too.
He has too.
All right.
Okay, new business, discussion and approval of year-end fund transfers. So I'll
Okay.
turn it over to Mrs. Broadwater.
You guys have three things, and I'll go through each one individually, and then you can vote on them. The first one is the additional appropriation ordinance. I think they're all self-explanatory, but this is where there were budget overages, and we are requesting that the 2024 budget be increased by the amounts listed on this. If you have specific questions about any of them, I'm happy to answer it. Most of it has to do with the streetscape and, just the funding, not knowing the timing of it. Some of it was funded in 2023 and then not paid out. And then 2024, when we did the budget, it wasn't funded at the level that it needed to be. And the streetscape project, while the payouts for it aren't complete yet either. But that's what most of the additional appropriations are for, except for the fire territory. That was one where they were billed $15,000 too much. The bill was paid. The company refunded it, but we wanted to put that $15,000 back into the budget. So that's why it's in here. They're not spending $15,000 more. It's just to recoup what was paid out and returned.
That's good.
What was the project fund go bond, $45,600 to, Joanne?
That's our general obligation bond. Most of the funds in the general obligation bond were paid for Baker Tilly, HWC, those professional services that we were using to determine what some of the costs were going to be, designs for the park when we were looking at that.
Okay.
Any other questions on the additional appropriation? And I've labeled it or appropriation ordinance 2024-1223A.
What about the economic development and planning? Was that probably kind of the same thing?
2216. That was for the streetscape.
Okay.
However, I will tell you that we did the additional appropriation because we had to do that back in October because it had to be advertised and there was a process. But WEGA did not request their second payout from food and beverage or economic development for 2024. But like I said, I assumed it would come through before the end of the year, and it did not. But we did the additional to cover streetscape expenses. Turns out we really wouldn't have needed it, but if all the invoices had come in as I anticipated, then we would have had a shortfall. Any other questions?
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the additional appropriation ordinance 2024-1223.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay,
Full
whoever,
ordinance.
Kaylee made the motion, I think on your copy, on the third page, it says sponsoring council member.
Yes.
Could you please mark the vote on there, 4 yes, 0 no,
Yes.
sign it, and then pass it around to
Can I
us?
just give you this one? Can
Yeah.
I just give you that back page?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what she
that's
said.
fine.
That was the instruction she provided to teach.
Hold on. I was making sure. I didn't think you needed this. Is
Follow
what I'm saying.
instructions, teach.
Listen, I'm not a teacher anymore. I'm retired.
childcare teacher forever.
You're retired?
She quit.
I quit.
You're going to AA or what?
She's got her own class at home.
I got the 4 kids. My childcare bill was hefty. So
Childcare. is
Stop
expensive.
teaching or stop having kids,
There's
so
four,
she
yeah.
stopped teaching.
2 boys, 2 girls. So I'm homeschooling.
That's,
You want one more? I got a 14-year-old.
What's gonna happen when they get past kindergarten?
We're already past. We're in 2nd grade in 1. So I'm
You're
trained
competent?
through, what am I, through 6th grade, I think.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
you're good for a while.
I'm good for a little bit.
Okay, I'm not sure what order they're in on your stack, but the next one on my stack is 2024 encumbrances.
Okay.
Basically, encumbrances are money that we have committed in 2024 and we'll be using 2024 money to pay for, but the items will not be paid out until 2025. So we're encumbering the funds, and you can look through this. If you have questions, just ask me.
No questions, just a comment. That leaf machine on the final back page,
Mm-hmm.
$25,000 twice. That
Yeah.
thing has probably seen its best life.
It's, I talked with Eric about the leaf machine the other day. A new machine was about $100,000. It seems like just yesterday we bought that.
I'd
to
say,
be accurate, but
When did we buy
they
it?
will take that machine and put a new axle under it, new everything, and refurbish it for about 60. So that's what Eric's looking at is having it refurbished, and he says it'll be just as good as a brand new one.
I've seen all the high-speed ones now that they require 0 operators and it's got a joystick and, you know, you drive down.
West Lafayette's got
you know,
one of
it's- Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd hate to see
Wow.
what those cost, but
yeah. One guy drives it around town and runs that little joystick and picks it up.
This isn't an ordinance or a resolution. It just needs a motion and a second to approve it.
I make a motion that we approve the 2024 encumbrances.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
That first resolution that we passed, first ordinance, Joanne, was a A, I guess, because this
Oh
one's.
my-
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And like I said, the encumbrances, they're not an ordinance or
Got it.
resolution, but the last one is. And the final thing that I've presented is resolution number 2024-1223B. And this is moving funds around within departments. We don't have the authority to move funds from one department to another, like we can't move funds from clerk to mayor or anything like that. However, within a department, you're able to move, with council approval, you're able to move funds from one category to another. So if we need more funds in personal services, payroll, things like that, and we have extra funds in capital assets, with council approval, we can move it from capital assets to personal services. And that's all this is. It's moving funds from one category to another in order for each category to end up with a positive balance. I have a really fun spreadsheet here if anybody wants to look at it that I came in and put together on Saturday and worked on all day today. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory too. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer it.
You have time tomorrow, so I can come in and go through that?
Absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. But you're going to approve it or not tonight, so, you know.
Such a sour Grinch.
Only to you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions about doing it. All the other ones before the very bottom one, the project general bond, I think that's where general,
General obligation bond?
yes, where you've got the amount as 45,600 and then.
Oh, that's a problem.
it's-
Yep,
Okay.
yep, that should be, please correct that. Should be 45.6. And Mickey even double checked that for me. We both missed it. Yep, yes, matching is good.
So this 23,171 should be 45,600, is that what you're saying?
No, 45.6, it should be 45.6.
That's what I said, with
Oh,
contractual.
oh,
here
yeah,
should be
yeah,
45.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I don't have
It's a
that.
single pager in there.
Oops, I
That's what she was talking about.
don't- make sure I don't-
Gotcha.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? Do we have a motion to approve?
Rhonda?
Rhonda might be here last.
Go ahead. I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2024-1223B, transferring monies within departments as written.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion, and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
Scott, are you? Okay. And if you want one for your records, you can have this one.
Thank you, man.
All right, that's all I have.
Mayor, I was trying to scratch my head because I thought we had 3 things that we were discussing tonight. These were 2 critical ones, but I thought there was one other thing that we talked about. And with this one and then the HSA funding, and then I thought there was, I kept saying 3 things.
I thought we had talked about trying to put off the pause and cost thing, but I don't think that we could. I don't think that worked, right? Was that it?
The Board of Works went ahead and approved what you guys recommended at 35.
I think that was it. I don't think.
For some reason, I was thinking there was a
I think
third
you're.
thing.
I thought you were.
I
I think
just
you're right.
I
Don't
went through my
remember,
notes. and-
Scott, if I missed something, I apologize.
No, I couldn't think of it. I went through my notes and I had these 2, but I didn't write the third thing down. I thought something, so we will
Well, if you
catch it next year.
think of it, I'll get it on the January. Well, I went back through my notes and these were the only things that I could find. Although Joanne did double up on, I had this down as one line item, but we actually had 3 different things that we did here. So maybe it was one of those, instead of listing them separately, I kind of lumped them together.
Did you want to talk about our last meeting with Harrison's at all, or anything like that? Was that just a quick meeting, though? That wasn't anything.
No, it was-
I was just going back over.
that's
That
why I looked through all my
approved
notes and I had stuff
Yeah.
written all over, but I didn't see what.
I saw your.
That's okay.
I saw that on your Board of Works meeting, they said that the house has come down.
Yes.
Yes.
So, looks a lot better down there. We're talking about-
One single house down there now.
Isn't that something? I can
That's-
remember back in the day, it was full of houses down there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I kind of.
I Scott, for life of me, I can't remember what it would have been.
I can't recall. I went through my notes, so it must have just been those. I know there's that and the HSA funding.
And when I put this together, that's what I did. I went back over my notes and HSA funding, we still have not heard from AIM for the January bill, so we don't know exactly what it's going to be. Mickey even reached out to them and asked them if they could send it to us ahead of time, and we don't have it.
Are we okay holding off? And we have to hold off until we find
January.
out that number.
Yeah. And then
Right.
something else that I wanted to bring up and kind of bounce off you guys, and I know other places have kind of done it the same way. If we commit X amount of dollars to an HSA, which I'm okay with if we've got the money, but if we, what I'll call front load that, first of the year, everybody gets a certain amount of money, and then somebody leaves, loses their job, we don't have any way to recoup that money. So my thought was that we pay that out along with their pay every week or 2 weeks or whatever it's going to end up being, or monthly.
Ours was quarterly.
Was it quarterly?
It's not a bad idea.
And that way you're not fronting all that money out there.
Didn't have them skip.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had the same issue with sign-on bonuses where you do a sign-on bonus repayment agreement And if you leave within 12 months, whatever, but it's very, very hard to ever recoup
I would
that.
think it'd be hard to get back HSA.
It,
money.
it's very, very hard, and I agree with you. So if it's quarterly or, whatever you guys think, I think, I just.
So I was kind of hoping it would be easy to do, and maybe you can. I mean, we're going to be weekly here for the next few months, and then we're going to go to a biweekly pay period. I was just thinking, just add that on to their biweekly pay or the weekly pay, because
Or
if you do it
one-
monthly, it's going to get you out of that cycle of pays, and then you're going to have to do it separately from the pays, which could complicate things.
Could just do it every second pay of the month.
You could, but you have months that have more weeks in them than others. And I was just afraid that the way the pay cycle worked, it may get you out of sync with it. Some weeks you would have it, some weeks you wouldn't. I mean, there's months that you get 3 pays.
But you always get a second pay every month. Some pays you get 3.
I
And we
get it.
can look
but-
at the pay calendar
But you see
too.
what I'm saying? Now you're back to taking some money out for this pay and not the same amount of money for the next pay.
But if you're talking about the employer contribution, are you talking
I'm talking
about,
about the employer contribution.
right? I mean, you wouldn't be taking anything out of the employee's
We're just putting
check.
money into a
We're putting
savings.
money into it. So some pays you would put money in.
Right, you just
Some
want it to be
pay-
constant.
Yes,
So
some-
it's not missed.
That's what I think. I think it
Yeah.
would be better if you could count on that amount of money going in every pay rather than say, oh, I didn't get my HSA money this pay, it's next pay. I mean,
Right.
It gets
right.
confusing where if you say you're going to do it every pay,
Yeah.
then you get 26 pays a year, just divide it out to 26 and you're there.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
And what was the date we agreed to start the biweekly?
April
April
1st.
1st.
April 1st.
Mhm.
Whatever you think is easiest for you and your staff would probably be my thing is.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys have enough nightmares with all this stuff until we make the switch to
And
Keystone and, all this other stuff.
speaking of that, the Board of Works approved us to, at the last meeting, they approved for us to move forward with that. Now, the next step on moving forward with that is they're going to get us we've got to get them some information, some data, and then they're going to get us quotes on conversion because they can write conversion programs to help us with that transition. So we're going to get them the information they need. They've not asked for it yet. And then have a quote to us, hopefully by maybe the first Board of Works or whatever in January.
So
so we
it'll
know
just
what that's gonna
basically
look
transfer
like.
all your data files over, so it won't be
Hopefully.
such a manual effort.
Yes.
That's that would be nice.
Yes, yeah, but it'll depend on the cost. But like I said, we'll look at it. I mean, we budgeted for a transition just in case because we knew that it was going to be discussed. So we do have set, I think it's $50,000 is what's budgeted. But like I told Larry, what's going to have to be taken into consideration is we're still going to have to pay for support from our current software, probably for the whole year. Plus you're going to have the cost of the new software, plus the cost of whatever the conversion is on top of that. So now until we get those numbers, I'm not sure what that looks like. I've been assured that it's going to be way under what we budgeted.
But we know it'll be way under what additional
Right.
time that costs us for
Right.
audits and stuff.
Right.
So, and hopefully it makes things so much easier for you guys.
Let's hope. Transition does not sound like fun, but you know what? You guys will be happy to know you're off the hook. The 3 of you will be happy to know I'm going to schedule you in time slots to come assist.
Really.
Rhonda's off the hook.
Have fun.
Have fun with that.
It would be me and 4 others, so feel
That's
free to
fine.
go ahead and schedule the children as well.
Absolutely. Be happy to
Jack
accommodate
would
you.
I was
love
gonna-
to.
I'm very
Bring it tonight.
accommodating.
I know.
How good are his computer skills?
Really good.
Perfect.
He's really good.
Perfect. We'll set him up right here.
He's really good.
He gets that from his mother, doesn't he?
Yes,
Does
yes.
anybody else have any miscellaneous business we need to discuss tonight?
The only thing about the HSA that I wanted to bring up was, the only concern that I currently have that I was thinking about was when they signed up back in whenever it was, which I know it's kind of been back and forth. There are people, I'm sure, that didn't take the insurance, and this might have swayed them to take the insurance. So
Maybe.
that's my only.
It could have.
That's my concern, is that all of the information wasn't presented. And this is
Well-
this is kind of atypical. This isn't like a
All
normal
of the-
situation.
All of the information was presented.
Okay,
Although at that time,
sorry, that's not what.
there was no,
Yeah,
there was
my
no talk about doing an HSA until next year.
Mhm.
And some of the council members were talking to some of the employees, and we decided to take another dive into that and look at it.
Sorry, I did not mean it like that. You're 100% right. It was all presented. That is
But-
not what I meant, but you're right.
It seems like that we're chasing our tails here, trying to fix things that could have been prevented up front had.
We had all the
Well,
information.
since we can't change plans at this point, if it would be easier for us to up our percentage of premiums or something, I'm open. I just think that, and I don't think we've lost any employees, right? But I never.
There
thought
are
about that.
employees who opted
But
out.
no, there are employees that
Right,
opted out
right,
of it.
but
and I
they've
never-
not left as a
I never-
Oh,
result.
sorry. Yes,
I never thought about
sorry.
that, but that is definitely, that's a factor that if they knew they were getting 1,200 in HSA funds.
They
So
may have
may have made a
taken this
different-
insurance rather than
Right.
something else.
Right.
Yeah,
that's something we can't fix now
Right.
and get them insurance regardless. So
I wish we could, I
Was
was,
that the
I-
number that was decided on 1,200?
No, we haven't
Yeah.
said
no,
that.
we just
Yeah,
weren't in
just kinda
discussions.
throwing it around.
I mean, I wish that we could have went ahead and changed plans when I asked them after we'd already signed up for these two plans.
Mhm.
And they said, no, it's too late. And I kind of understand that. But, I also wish that people would have been a little bit more forthcoming early on what plans they wanted.
Yes, because now I feel like because things were not read through, it's like, oh, darn it.
Well, I think that
Like I should have
There
looked
was
at
a
the
ton
high
of work.
deductible.
I think there was a ton of work done, and I think that a lot of our employees, unfortunately, are worried about the amount of money coming out of their pay.
Yes.
And rolling the dice that they won't need medical coverage, because there's a lot of people that don't go to the doctor much, or, things. So I think maybe they were hopeful for that and worried about the money in the paycheck to take care of
Oh,
household
and
responsibilities.
I go back to, honestly, most people outside of Attica don't have the weak hair to fall back on. I mean, I didn't for years.
Mhm.
And I know you probably didn't where you worked in Tippecanoe County.
LSC
Or
did
not,
have the school corporation did have something similar to We Care, but
Did
they did, yeah, but it wasn't like, I think this is a little bit
But-
better.
And I'm not saying the weak hair is the end all be all, but most people don't have that to fall back on. All they have is their insurance.
Well, those that decline the medical coverage still have access to the We Care, correct?
No.
No?
You have to take our insurance to have
Do
access
you
to
have a
the care.
number of how many people decline? Because
Not,
you guys haven't
not off the
started
cuff.
you haven't started payroll deductions for this new stuff yet, right?
I-
I'd be curious to see
I
how many
was
we're talking
told
about.
two,
Yeah.
but that could be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of two, but if there's more than that, then I'm aware of two.
And maybe somebody didn't opt in and just didn't say why they didn't opt in either.
Is there an option for us to go to, because we currently pay 80/20? Is there an opportunity to go to like 90/10?
There would
There
be,
will-
had
there will be
people
next year.
spoke up when I put out the insurance.
Well, I mean, we can still do that as a city, correct?
No,
No, it's,
Not,
Everything
not
is-
this year.
I
Next.
sent out an email.
I
And
understand.
I sent
Larry,
out,
that you
no,
said-
let me clarify this, because you're asking a question and you clearly didn't read it. I sent out an email to every city employee, and I sent out another email to every city employee. And I asked, what kind of insurance do you want? Are you happy with this? Are you happy with this? Would you rather have this? And there were yes or no questions. Do you know how many of those I got back? None.
Larry, you don't have to get mad at me. I just asked a
I'm not
simple
mad,
question.
but it upsets me when you come in and you say, could we go to a 90/10? That ship sailed back in
And that's all
November.
the answer has to be. You don't have to get angry
Okay,
with me.
okay.
I just asked a simple question.
I think,
It was a simple question and I thought you should know the answer to already.
there's been a lot
There's
of,
been a lot of conversation about this insurance and things.
Well, but
are
there's
all
been-
all over the place.
Chief, there's been more conversations after they had to make a decision. And the mayor led this, and I couldn't tell you how much time he's got into it. So it's frustrating to him that, the decision was made for the employees and for the city. And, looking at a potential bump of 25% per year for the other, this by far is the better path to take. I just wish we wouldn't have went with 2 high deductibles. We went with one of the HMOs. We should have done that. We shouldn't even not even thought about it. We should have just done that. And we can't change that until 1 January next year. So our thoughts between HSA are trying to do something is to try to ease a little bit of it, admitting that, we did our best and,
But I do think it's important for employees to know, and you're the only person here, so, and whoever's listening, but employees to know that do have the option to take the insurance. You have somebody asking for your opinion. That does directly affect you. And when you do not respond back, he's going to make decisions. We are going to make decisions based on the fact of what we thought was best. So that is the information was given, no response was heard. I feel like now people are upset. This happens all the time.
It's unfortunate.
You don't say
It's
why,
unfortunate. You can't complain
but
about that.
it's a no complaint situation now. This is the way that it is, period. To be honest with you, I don't think the HSA should be given. I know that's not popular. This was what was offered. This is what was the option. That's just my opinion.
Well, and something to keep in mind too, is it was an accelerated timeline this
It
year.
was, yeah.
Because we didn't even get the renewal until, it was after the end of October.
Yeah.
From
So, I mean,
Anthem.
From
Anthem.
Anthem.
Yeah.
But moving forward, we'll get the renewal information from AIM in July. In
July
July.
or August. They
Right.
said by August 1st.
So
That's fantastic.
July.
That's awesome. So we'll have options
As long
then,
as
and
they
this could be
stick to it.
the start of the
Oh, they
conversation
will.
then.
They will.
Like more.
Well, and see, and
yeah.
that's just it. I mean, it was an accelerated timeline this year just because of circumstances. However, in the future, it won't be, and there'll be more opportunity to look at the plans, and the mayor can send out requesting input, and we can get input.
so basically until we get the price quotes from AIM, which
The
we thought,
premiums. We were hoping to have.
we were
but-
hoping to have them, but we're not gonna
Right.
make a decision until we get that information, so we can see what we can do and try to find
The
the
number of
funds.
how many employees took the insurance.
Well, we've got a total of 18 that were eligible. We know 2 didn't, and there could be more, but we gotta get the individual price.
And we don't know which of the
Who took
two
what
plans they
plan?
took.
Right.
Who took what plan?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, if you bring somebody else on, which you're going to, and they opt in to the insurance, that affects how much money we have left
Oh, I
over.
thought you were talking about I was gonna have another kid. I said, no, I'm not.
Oh, you haven't been told yet?
But not only that, I mean, you could have people hop on, during the year.
Well, and
A
if you have
spouse drop coverage.
qualifying life events. you
Yeah.
could have all
Exactly.
kinds of other
So I
stuff.
mean, just because the premium is what it is now, doesn't mean it's gonna be consistently that for the whole year. So,
Right.
we can't take whatever the difference is between our premiums now and, promise that money in something else. I mean, we'll have to see what that is.
Well, and for every insurance company, we got qualifying life events, we got all
Right.
kinds of stuff. So
Absolutely.
that's gonna fluctuate no matter
Right.
what.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
right.
hopefully not wildly, but it's gonna fluctuate some. Anything else? Chief, you got anything else?
Nothing.
All right. We have a motion to adjourn?
Till next year.
Till next
Rhonda?
Yes, we do have a motion to adjourn.
year. Rhonda made a motion to adjourn.
I will
Matt
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
You got your last dig in there at the end.